Well, a group of U.S. budget airlines asking the federal government for $2.5 billion in relief. They're facing climbing jet fuel prices. Live to CBS News correspondent Shanelle Kaul. So how would this work, Shanelle?
Okay, so Reed, let's talk about who's actually asking for this money from the federal government. You mentioned it's a group of budget airlines here in the U.S. It includes Avelo, Frontier, Allegiant, and Spirit. So what's happening here, Reed, is they're asking the government for $2.5 billion, they say, to cover the cost of fuel surcharges that they've seen in the last couple of months. To be clear, this is not a bailout. If they got this money, Reed, these billions of dollars would only be able to use for fuel. Here's my colleague Chris Van Cleve speaking to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy last week ahead of that meeting they had with those budget air carriers.
Is it a good use of taxpayer dollars?
Of course.
And what happens to the other airlines that are struggling, particularly with high jet fuel? Is the department prepared to bail out other airlines that start to struggle?
Well, that's the question. Then who else comes to my door? Who else comes knocking? Number one, but also if Spirit goes, you know, it does help other airlines who play in the markets in which Spirit operates. So to answer your question, no decision has been made. But they're real factors. Again, a lot of people work for Spirit. We care about the people that work for Spirit in this industry. But the question will be, can we do anything to save Spirit and make it viable? Or would we be putting good money into a company that inevitably is going to be liquidated? And that's a decision that we have to have our teams look at, and the president has to be briefed on, and we'll make a decision together.
And to be clear, Reed, so far, no official decision on this just yet. But in a statement, Avelo says, quote, as the smallest and newest airline in the country, Avelo competes against significantly larger airlines who have unprecedented market dominance. Our focus, it says, on unserved and underserved airports gives millions of U.S. consumers low-fare, nonstop air service options they otherwise wouldn't have. We have no specific comment on the report, but we emphatically agree that a healthy airline industry with strong competition is important to the U.S. economy, especially during this period of high fuel prices. Frontier declining to comment to CBS News. And we should also note here, Reed, that this ask of $2.5 billion for those fuel surcharges is separate from a potential deal and bailout for Spirit Airlines of $500 million. So in total, when you crunch the numbers here, the government could be looking at spending $3 billion on relieving the American airline industry.
All right, Shanelle Kaul with one of those pain points in our travel industry. Thank you so much. Good to see you.